Ladies and gentlemen, I am the next gem of great British wrestling ring announcing, Adam Blackburn, and you are listening to the new Great British podcast, Submit Wrestling Cards, with your hosts, Jack and Kev. Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Submit Wrestling Cards podcast. With myself, I am Jack, and my ever impressionable and, shall I say, knowledgeable, I think I'll pick those two words today, co-presenter Kev. Introduce yourself.
How are you doing, guys? Kev Williams. Nice to meet you. What a nice intro there from Jack. And of course, the quintessential stud muffin that he is. Welcome to episode 3 of Submit Wrestling Cards. Episode 3. WrestleMania 3.
I know we've not been told to shut up yet, so we'll keep going. No one's said that they're bored, so we'll keep churning out these episodes quite happily. I think we're getting into the swing of it a bit now, aren't we? We know the format, we know what we want to do, we know how we want to kind of present to everybody there in the land of the internet. You know what we want to talk about.
The internet, yeah. So we've got our feet right under the table. One thing I like to say, Jack, is that we've actually helped someone complete, what was it, the WCW 91 series. So Submit Wrestling Cards, I tell you, way to go, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
Very happy with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, they put a few comments onto the page, reached out if anyone had some spare cards, and we helped them complete that set. That's a big set. It's like 160 cards in that set, isn't it? It's
big old lot.
Yeah.
So many colours, yeah. And whilst we're with wrestling cards, Adam Blackburn, he's got his own UK exclusive set. So we'll post that up on our social media. Stay tuned for that one. And they're only £7, £7. What can you get for that today? You know, bag of chips in the UK, as we say, or fries in America.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're very good cards. I saw a picture of them a couple of days ago, and yeah, very, very good. So yeah, make sure you cop those and give the feedback it deserves for someone to go and design and orchestrate and manage and print their own set of cards. It's not easy. Easy, and they've been done very well.
And I think that's Adam for you. He's always advanced with all this wrestling card business. He's forever sending me sticker packets, and you know what? He's a cool kid. So give him a shout out. And what we got? Episode 3. Who is it this week? You tell me.
Episode 3, yeah. So we put the poll out for who you guys wanted us to talk about, and the poll was with Brian Danielson, Rick Rude. I think, was it Rick Rude we put into that one as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and the winner was Doink.
The clown.
Yeah, Doink the clown. So we're going to go through some history of Doink. We'll do history with Kev. That'll be coming up to give you an idea. Doink is a very complex character, I would say. There is an awful lot with that history, and I think Kev will definitely educate you to grasp how complex Doink was.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a single gimmick. There was many parts to Doink. So we'll cover all of that as we go through. We've got a bit of news to go through. Actually, some big news to go through, which we'll go through in just a second. Yeah. Well, in fact, let's just go straight into the news, because it is massive news.
You have to do your Trevor McDonald impression. News at 10, and here we have it. Doom, doom, news with Jack.
Yeah, that's it. I need to shuffle some papers, don't I, on the desk, and then right, yes.
Serious.
Yeah, look serious. I'll put my serious face on for those who are watching on YouTube. So here we are. It has been recently announced that PSA have reopened their economy submissions, not just worldwide, not just America, but now mostly worldwide. This is now opened up, thankfully, to the UK. We now have a conduit as to which to send off our lovely pieces of card and paper for them to be put into little bits of plastic with a number assigned to them. This is huge, massive. So just to kind of back up there, because I've given an awful lot of information very quickly. So PSA are arguably the leaders in card and sticker grading. They do authenticate signatures as well. You could argue that maybe they're alongside Beckett, but that's an argument we're going to have a different day. For this particular episode, we're going to be talking a little bit in the news section here about PSA reopening. So what does that mean? Well, PSA shut their doors. Lockdown hit when? March 20? March, April?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
2 years.
Yeah,
long
yeah,
time
it was a
ago.
while. Yeah, no one really wants to remember that time. It was bad for everybody, but it took about 3 or 4 months for PSA to be completely overwhelmed and swamped with people submitting primarily Pokemon cards to make a quick buck off the back of PSA. And they got swamped with what's referred to as junk slabs, which is just people sending in low-value cards to be graded so they can sell them for a bit more money. And PSA got swamped, and they shut their doors. They said, no more. We cannot take any more cards. We are completely overwhelmed. And they only reopened their expensive services, I think, probably this time last year. And that was about $200, I think, or $250 to submit a card, just one card. So a lot of people weren't going to be doing that. So a lot of people just waited. And now they have opened up their economy submissions, which is about $25, I think, something like that, per card. It used to be about $15. So they have increased the price. What does it mean again? Well, it means we can finally start sending cards off to the leaders of grading. You know, we can submit our cards through to PSA and get them graded.
Yeah, they're a well-respected company. A lot of the card traders just look out for PSA stuff, and for like us in the UK to actually have an arm to go to now, it's like, wow, here we go. Let's get serious on wrestling cards again. Because what was it? I think it was February 2020. I sent some over. Was it Graded Gem, the company?
Yeah.
And I got them back. It's about 4 or 5 months ago. So it was like 18-month wait. It wasn't their fault, obviously. So finally to have that in hand was, you know, a PSA of my own, if you like, was amazing. And now it's time to go again, isn't it, Jack? So we're really happy.
Now we can, you know, they're very open with their turnaround times. They're saying that they are going to be sticking to the timeframes they state on the website. They're not going to be overrun. And I think the price increase, it was absolutely necessary to prevent people from opening up a packet of brand new cards. You would generally get one rare or one uncommon card in a pack. And this is across all hobbies, you know, Pokemon, baseball, wrestling card. You know, this is a very standard procedure. You buy one pack, you get one card that's remotely special. And if you was to grade that card and have it come back as a high grade, you may double, you know, even triple the cost of the original pack you bought. So I think raising the price means that you need to have a fairly special card now that's worth sending in to be graded. So that does take the pressure off of PSA. And that in itself is going to be, a real pleasant experience now to submit cards through to PSA rather than submitting cards and, like you say, waiting 18 months, which was just crazy.
And it'll, as you say, it'll just stop people slabbing up the junk, as I call it. It's like, I've got a Miss Elizabeth 2017 PSA 10. I'm like, someone's actually spent the time to get this slabbed up. I mean, I'd love a Hogan 82 rookie for that. So it's like, go with your premier card, isn't it? Rather than something that no one really wants. But nice to see that it's open, and I'll be sending a few in. I know that. I don't know which ones yet, but Have a good look through. I'm going to say, right, I've waited 2 years for this. Let's get them sent over.
Well, I think a lot of people that I've spoken to have held stuff back, specifically waiting for PSA to reopen their doors so that they can submit again. So we might find there's a big peak in submissions and the time frame may go longer again, but hopefully that should peter off and it should calm down a bit, which fingers crossed it will do. But at the moment, I think it was only announced maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that, maybe a week ago, that they'd reopened. I think actually a couple of days after the last show. And I think when I found out straight away, I messaged you and said, they're open, let's come back, we're okay, let's come back again.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the other hand there, Jack, though, SGC, they're very good. You've got Beckett, absolutely incredible. And you got the UK guys, Majesty Grading. Sorry, there's a few others in the UK. They're very good. They are absolutely top-notch quality companies. But again, I think it is PSA. For the minute, it could change in years to come, that I've got the creditable reputation.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of the grading fans of grading cards will be drawn more to the reputation of the company that's doing the grading. A lot of new companies sprung up in the absence of PSA, and a lot of people were questioning, okay, you're a new company, how do I know your grades are reputable? So a lot of those questions are still being asked with companies that has been split up. Had been started up, because of PSA shutting their doors.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. But for the time being, things are looking good. They've opened up economy. If you are in the UK and you are wanting to look at submitting cards into PSA, drop a comment on the Facebook or Twitter, and we'll send the link. It's a pretty open link. It's on Google. You find it. It's all PSA certified. You send it to them, and they send it to PSA on your behalf. So they are PSA certified as well. So it's all covered. So yeah, it's all legitimate.
Spot on, isn't it? Yep.
So there we are. That's news. That's it. That's the news we need to talk about.
Yeah.
No, there's not. There's more news. There's more news. There's
more news. Whoa.
Yes, there's more news. There's more news. More news.
Hold on a minute. Well, wait. Let me have a breather. We can't have more. There can't be two this episode. Jesus, what's going on?
Right.
Wow.
So for the joy of people watching on YouTube, I'm going to just share my screen, but I'm going to talk you through what's on the screen for those that will be listening in. So, news. Let's bring something up on the screen here.
Oh,
we've mentioned this a couple of times now, and I don't think we're ever going to 100% put our feet on the other side of the fence. I think we're always going to leave ourselves open. But this is a really good demonstration of why and how vintage or retro cards are still, in most cases, more desirable than modern cards. And what are some of the techniques that modern cards are using to try and kind of keep up, as you say. Now, I'm basing this purely on financial results, not desirability, not rarity, purely on financial results. Hence why we're going to have a quick look at eBay for a second. So what we've got here is worldwide most expensive cards recently sold on eBay. And I've just used the search term wrestling cards. That's all I've used. And you can see here, 19th of June, 2022, a Hogan rookie from 81 was sold, best offer accepted, for around about £3,500, which is probably about $3,800, something like that. Maybe 3,900.
Yeah.
Wrestling pack. I think they're from Argentina, aren't they, Kev?
Yeah, the WCW ones are, and they're getting quite hard to pick up now. And I think there's a Stone Cold rookie in that one. And not many people, I know I always go on about rookies, but for some reason that's what I love to talk about because I'm a weirdo. But another one is Dustin Rhodes, and it never really gets a shout for some reason. So you're going to get some great Sting cards in that lot, Lex Luger as well. So
yeah.
Very nice.
So again, this is a card game that was released in Argentina, and the company was called Chromie in 1991, I believe. And again, that's £2,000. So that's probably about $2,300, something like that. Yeah. Again, vintage. The third entry, another vintage set. We're going for 82, 83, a complete set of BBM, which is some of the Japanese wrestling cards. Vintage, again, around £2,000. Another Hogan All-Stars, a Ric Flair All-Stars, a Stone Cold Cardinal PSA 10, which is from 97. We have to go 8 or 9 cards down until we hit a modern card.
Yeah, that is scary, isn't it, really? Because, like, when was it? 2 months back, Prism was everything, and everyone's, oh, Prism's this, Prism's that. Well, today's records prove a little bit different, don't they? So
exactly. And some of the techniques that modern cards are using is they're doing low number prints. You see there on the list here, this is a Goldberg gold framed autographed 1/1 2021 Topps card. Right, there was a big mouthful there. That was one card. But that's, nearly $1,800. But because it's an autograph and because it's 1/1, that's what makes the price so high. And the same for the card below it, a Stone Cold autograph 2021 Topps. That's a 4 of 5. So that's only out of 5 that were printed. So you can already see the techniques. The proof is in the pudding as to how the prices are still holding up for these retro and vintage cards. And the modern cards can only compete by doing low print runs and autographs. And some of the relics as well. I mean, these cards are amazing. We're not bashing the quality of the cards. I would love to own either of those, that Goldberg or that Stone Cold autograph. I'd love to.
Amazing.
But, there's only one person in the world that can own that Goldberg card.
It's a chase card, isn't it? Yeah. It's a chase card, isn't it? Everyone's chasing after that card. So it's like, for some reason, people get drawn in with that. If you like doing that, then fair enough. But being a completist, I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather have the complete set than go from there. Old school's cool as well. It's never going to go anywhere, is it? Old school, it's always going to stay cool. So that's the main thing. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. And the reason why I wanted to put that into sort of the news section was a lot of those things were only sold a few weeks ago. So we're talking, this is very, very recent. We're not looking at a 6-month report here. This is within the last few weeks.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's what, you're only as good as your last match sort of thing, isn't it? So that's that with the news,
Absolutely.
Jack.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for the weather.
That's it. That's the news. And the weather.
Yeah.
I'll give the traffic report in a minute.
Yeah. Rain in Spain. Exactly.
Rain in Spain. Well, if you're in the UK at the moment, sweltering heat. Most of Europe, I think, is in sweltering heat as well. Yeah.
Very nice weather. So we'll make the most of that one. What we got next?
Oh, it's your segment now. It's History with Kev.
Coincidentally.
Insert the makeshift theme tune that I've done the other day, which I'll do a better one very soon. But insert it here.
It's brutal.
There we go. There we are.
It's absolutely brutal. Yeah.
History with Kev. So you're going to talk to us a little bit about Doink and the history of not just the gimmick, the character, but a little bit of history of the people that have sort of portrayed him along the way. So I'm going to go on mute. Kev, kick it off.
Here we go. Right. Thanks very much for the intro, a wonderful intro. Hit the music, as Ravishing Readers say. So Doink the Clown first appeared in the WWF towards the back end of 1992 as a bizarre clown in the audience. Hands up if you remember that one, children. So, Hawk from Legion of Doom came up with the idea for a clown after he seen Matt Bourne smoking after a wrestling match in the locker room. Obviously, it reminded him of Krusty the Clown from The Simpsons. They pitched the idea to Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon was like, ha, 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 I like it. Then went ahead. Matt Bourne, he is the original guy to wear the face paint of Doink. He'd be no stranger to wrestling, as he was a second-generation wrestler to his late father, Tony Bourne, and he debuted way back in 1978. Doink's first match was against Jobber Bob East. Obviously, no one remembers Bob East, but that was his first match. And that's when we first seen that Doink could actually wrestle. So what's your thoughts there, Jack? A quick one of Matt Bourne.
By far my favourite iteration for Doink. I loved the evil persona. And for me, I think heavily influenced from Stephen King.
Yes.
I think it's a great idea. I think it was portrayed by him very well. So yeah, for me, Bourne was the best for him. And I think it brought the best out of him as well. I think it did very well for him. I mean, we saw Bourne do quite a few different characters. Big Josh,
WCW times, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Big Josh was all right, but Doink was the best.
Yeah. So back with the history, he was forever playing nasty pranks on wrestlers and being accompanied with the evil clown music. So in reality, Doink was the ultimate bad guy of 1993. If you remember his feud with Crush and the match that they had at WrestleMania 9 is rememberable because they had two Doinks. Who was the other Doink, wrestling fans? Steve Kern. And obviously that was Skinner, believe it or not. So, Jack, any thoughts of Steve Kern whilst I mention it?
Well,
Skinner.
So Skinner, I wasn't really bothered by when, at the time I didn't really care for Skinner. Wasn't one of my favourites. I did look into Steve a little bit, and you absolutely cannot take away his legacy. I mean, there's an awful lot of big names that he's been alongside for most of his career. Oddly, something I didn't know, now this might be true or not, this is from Wikipedia, so bear with me here. I was reading through this the other day. Steve Kern helped train Roman Reigns.
Wow, there you go. Yeah, he's been in the business for a long time, and all right, he might not have been the ideal guy on TV, but behind the scenes, these guys have so much impact and they do so much for wrestling today. So back with history with Kev, I'll just mention that both Matt Bourne and Steve Kern had wrestling cards actually in the 1982 All-Star Wrestling set. And surprisingly, they are both very low price compared to some of the cards amongst that lot. So if I was to say a rare card from the 1982 All-Star sets, I think a signed Matt Bourne card to be something to cherish, really. Also with that, there was the 1985 All-Stars for Steve Kern with the fabulous ones, and that is card number 47. Matt Bourne would have cards again as Big Josh at WCW, but obviously we're talking about Doink. Sadly, Bourne, he had his demons, and in late 93, he suspended from WWF. Steve Lombardi, Brooklyn Brawler, would become Doink, and that was only for a short while, really. Again, Matt Bourne would suffer again with his demons, and come 94, he's pretty much gone from the company, and Ray Apollo would play Doink until, I say, the demise in mid-95. Then again, he did play him at WrestleMania 17 at the Gimmick Battle Royal. Thankfully, though, Matt Bourne did get one last shot of playing Doink, and that was in 2007 on an episode of Raw. Final run-in of Doink would be around 2012, when Nick Dismore gave the character some sporadic appearances, and if you remember, he was Eugene. Finishing off, there's some fun facts. Chris Jericho and Jeff Jarrett played Doink in WWF, but that was only for storyline, shall we say. So there's history with Kev. Hope you've enjoyed it. Back to Jack.
Yeah, fantastic. There we are. And I think the only thing I would say here, for me, I much preferred the evil sort of prank Doink than I did the family-friendly, family-fun Doink. I think Vince and the creative team missed a trick there by trying to transfer him from being this evil character into this family-friendly character. I don't think it worked.
Yeah.
One last thing I will say, if you ever thought that Doink was only ever mid-tier, look at some of the games that existed, the computer games that existed. Doink appears in 3 games, as far as I'm aware, and that was within the top 12 wrestlers that would be picked within the organization at the time to be in the games. So if you want to say Doink is mid-tier, you can, but remember he was still considered in the top 12, the top tier of wrestlers at the time.
Yeah, at that time, yeah. Well, and a sad thing for me, I always believe that if Matt Bourne had looked after himself and wasn't fighting his problems, then you would have seen Doink go on to further bigger things in 1994, because Matt Bourne really knew how to play that character. It was like a part of him, and it's like Goldust. That's Dustin Rhodes. You couldn't say to, I don't know, Roman Reigns play a Goldust character today. It just wouldn't work with it. So it's like Matt Bourne had that thing. Jim Hellwig had the Ultimate Warrior, and I think if he was left to do what he wanted to do, he could have took it to anywhere he wanted. Absolutely, the evil Doink. I was scared to watch TV back then. I don't know about you, Jack, but it's like, what's this evil guy going to do? He's no clown.
Some of the kind of I think the expressions, the facial expressions that Bourne was able to put across, with that he had a scowl, and that evil look was. I think we've got some examples on some of the cards that we'll talk about, and you can see it if you're watching this on YouTube. You'll see he was evil. He had some real evil behind that eyes, and maybe he was, maybe you could say he was one of those tortured artists, and that's where that evil kind of manifested. But it worked well for the character, and it worked well for Bourne. And I don't think it translated well to others. I don't think they really grasped it as well as Bourne did. And I think as well, if you look at some of the footage of Bourne playing Born Again, which was a reintroduction of him playing Doink on the independent circuits, he was more dressed up face paint wise, like how Heath Ledger did the Joker. A very tortured soul he tried to portray. And again, he did that very, very well. Maybe that was his own sort of feelings coming out. I don't know. But really evil sort of expressions.
Incredible, really. And what a character to witness. And I think today the only letdown is that Doink isn't used. I mean, all right, you're not going to get Matt Bourne Doink, but surely somewhere, I thought Nick, I always call him Eugene. I thought he did well with the gimmick, but somewhere today, would it fit him in wrestling? There's definitely room for a clown, that's for sure, whether you get Doink, but...
Look at Bray Wyatt.
You
can. I mean, I'm not saying he's a clown. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the portrayal of a evil manifestation. Bray Wyatt absolutely, it encapsulates that so well. And I would probably be, I'm going out on a limb here, but you could probably say if you spoke to Bray Wyatt, was you influenced by Doink? He's probably going to agree and say absolutely. I think it was probably one of the bigger influences on a character like that.
Yeah, massive, absolutely incredible. So that's pretty much the history side of things covered up. So next on with that is your favorite Doink wrestling card or sticker.
Yeah, so again, I'm just going to share my screen here and show my favorite card, and I'm being a bit controversial here. I'm picking a modern card.
Oh,
I know.
No.
We sit and we say we don't like modern cards, but I'm going to pick a modern card. So the card I've got here is a subset from 2021 Top Superstars, and you instantly know when you look at it. The background looks like it's something off the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's very bold colors. It's very pink. It's very bright, and it's one of the Legend sets, subsets. And I think the reason why I like it so much, it's so bright, it's so colorful. It's a great classic picture of Doink. Yes, it has been used many times, but it's a great iconic picture of him. And I think it's just a very bright, colorful card. I don't think this Legend subset, applies to the other wrestlers in that group, but I think for Doink, it is a brilliantly bright, bold, and beautiful card. So that's my pick from all the Doink cards, I'm going with that one.
Hell of a shout. Great shout. One of my favorites, and I'm going to say my second favorite, which is the 1994 action-packed Doink. But I will have to say 2015 Topps Heritage card. And again, it's modern, which is quite bizarre because we're always old school and retro, but I'm sure you got a picture there of it, Jack, on your screen.
Yeah, there we go.
And that's the one, yes, exactly that. And it's just got again, the evil Doink.
Exactly, that expression is brilliant.
Yeah, that's what it says, isn't it? And like, we do get a few little action figures and cards of Doink, but I always think WWE should be up in their game and having a Legends line with Doink, Papa Shango, Big Boss Man, all the old school guys, and that is my favorite card. Surprisingly, they've both gone modern.
Yeah, it's odd. It's rare, but we've both done it. Yeah.
And I'll let you into a little secret now. I do try and pick up Doink cards. It's like they're super cheap to pick up, fairly easy to get, and like, why wouldn't you want a Doink card? I must have about 20 variant cards. There's nothing to shout home about, but obviously these modern cards, I'm just I've got to get that one. On the screen now, I could see that's his rookie card or rookie sticker, should we say?
Yeah.
The bottom right.
Give us a bit of information on this one then, Kev. Where is this? How can people find it?
WWF Merlin 1993 sticker album, and it's the one with Bret Hart on the front. So that's the sticker version, and you've got the half top, half bottom to the left. Then there's the quarter on the top. So I'd go bottom right. That's his rookie sticker. And if you head over to Germany, they had a card set, obviously in German writing on the back from that same period, same era. And again, we talk about rookie cards, Hulk Hogan, thousands of dollars, thousands of pounds. Doink the Clown, £3. Yeah, why? Absolutely. How? Yeah. Criminal. Absolutely criminal.
I know. So,
yeah, and bizarrely, it's like the 93 German card set, which... how come we never got a set in the UK or America for that? It's like incredible set. It's similar to the Bret Hart sticker album, but we never got it. Made by Merlin in the UK, and for some reason they thought, these kids don't want wrestling cards, we'll give them stickers.
Yeah.
So,
cool. Very weird.
Cool set. Cool sticker set for that as well. But never mind. Still got Doink in that lot and some other great wrestlers too.
Yeah, there's some great rookies in that German set as well. I mean, I won't list too many here because we'll probably talk about them in other episodes. But it's weird, isn't it? That it was just Germany. Yeah. But then look at the figures. I know we come back to the figures quite a lot. Look at the languages that the figures were printed in. They had French, Spanish, English, the dual language, so French and English for the Canadian market, no German.
Yeah, bizarre that, isn't it? And they got a card set of their own.
Yeah. Maybe they felt a bit left out and they thought, we won't print German figures, but we'll print them some cards in German. I don't know. And we'll probably talk about this in more detail on another episode, but there was some weird German magazines that had cards in. We will cover this. I know we will. We won't go through it here. But some weird magazines that we...
Oh, yeah. We don't need to talk about that,
family-friendly. Family-friendly magazines, I will say. But they included some very, very good cards. And we'll go through them at another time. So,
card stickers... amazing. Yeah. Germany had some great cards as well as great wrestling fans. So that's that. What we're going to talk about next is sought after cards, autograph cards. Anything else we need to give a mention to?
Yeah. So again, for the lovely people on the land of YouTube, let's bring up a card here that we can have a little talk about. We've mentioned their name before. This is a Beckett's authenticated autographed card, and this is the card you were talking, or the sticker you were talking about earlier, but it's been signed and authenticated. So give us a little bit of information around some of these signatures, because it's not as easy as you might think with Doink.
No. Well, first off, it's got it on the top there, Steve Kern, which would be Skinner. So I imagine Beckett would be slabbing him up. If it was Matt Bourne, it'd have that sort of information. Obviously, you got Steve Kern to pick from, Ray Apollo, maybe Steve Lombardi chucked his name down as Doink. For me, the most desired autograph would be Matt Bourne, because sadly he's no longer with us, and it's coming up for 10 years. So that one again there, that one's just been, it's Steve Kern again. So he's chucking his Doink name about, which is nice to see. And these sell for about £250, $300. And it's not an awful lot of money, but if it was a Matt Bourne card, which I've not seen many of, would it be worth a lot more?
Yeah, I mean, the Bourne autograph is going to be much more desirable, but it's very odd that Steve is signing Doink's name to a card that is a picture that's probably Matt Bourne.
Yeah, it's not him. Yeah,
it's not him. It's not. He's not the one in the picture. He's played the character, but it's not him. That's very weird. Very, very weird.
Strange. Yeah, and with that, is there a way to tell a difference in Doink autographs?
Well, again, we've got on the screen here. This is another Steve Curran autograph. And again, it may well be Steve Curran playing that one. I think that one's a slightly later. I'm not sure. I think it is Bourne. I always get them mixed up with who played what and when and what show it was. We haven't got many examples of a Bourne Doink autograph, not that I've seen. So I find it very difficult to tell the difference between the two. I don't think I would necessarily want to have a Steve Kern autograph on a picture of Bourne playing Doink. That makes no sense at all. I really don't. If it's Steve playing, if it's Steve in the picture, then yeah, cool, that makes sense. But it does.
If it's Skinner, it's sign away. If it's Skinner, get your name on it.
Yeah,
Skinner.
Yeah,
that's how we know.
It's like it's like getting the fake Undertaker from the famous Undertaker doppelganger run. Yeah. It's like getting the fake Undertaker to sign a real Undertaker's card. It doesn't work. It's not going to work.
I'm not buying it. No. Whilst we're on to the autograph of Doink, I have got a Ray Apollo. I think it's a 12x8 picture, and I sent it to my friend Andy Rod out in Germany, one of the great collectors, wrestling figures and cards. Sent him it. I said, "Oh, what do you think of my Doink signed Doink picture?" He goes, "I love it," and he goes, "I love for a fact that it's signed by Ray Apollo." I'm like, "How do you know that?" And he's like, "Kev." He goes, "I collect Doink stuff." He goes, "You see my collection for Doink stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have." He goes, "I could tell you the difference between Matt Bourne, Ray Apollo, Steve Lombardi, Steve Kern." So maybe collectors out there know the difference. Is the D spelled differently? Is a writing joined or? Yeah,
I was going to say the D on the Doink is very different across all of these four examples that we have on the screen. Yeah. So the first example we've got here is in silver pen. It's a very wide arc on the curvature of the D with a almost like just like a dash for the line for the vertical line down for the D. That's on one autograph. If we look at the next autograph, it's a very joined up, almost italic swirl of a D. It's completely different. Look at the next autograph. Bizarre. It's that big wide arc again, and the next autograph is another swirly one. So and these are all Steve Kern. So that to me again seems very odd that he's changing how he signs it, and
this it's becoming a mystery with the signed Doink, isn't it? So I imagine the big guys out there, your Chucksters, your Rob England, Uncle Danny, they'd have Matt Bourne cards signed. Tony Vella, I imagine also the great Wrestling with Cards, Zahn, he'd have one. So, guys, if you've got one, just get in touch, comment on the video, let us know the story. What's the value difference? Because we've searched eBay, we've searched Google, we've even had a look on Facebook, and we're not really telling a difference. So we'd like to know the difference in wrestlers. Is it important? And also your thoughts with that are always appreciated. So the autograph, it's not quite straightforward, is it? But
No, not. It's not as easy as just having it signed and it's by that person. That's it, authenticated. It's a very weird world for that autograph to be in. Very.
And that's obstacles we tackle when we buy and pick up wrestling cards, I suppose. So autographs, awkward one. Signed, you got your chase cards, which WWE would release. There's quite a few of them. Is there any modern cards that are tickling your fancy there, Jack?
Other than the ones we've sort of already discussed of our favourites, again, not that I've seen, not really. You don't really see Doink pop up in many of the real big hitting modern cards. You might get a couple of parallels. I think there's a couple of numbered, but you don't have any real crazy one of ones or one of fives. You don't really see much of that.
It's not Andre the Giant, is it? And there's a little sidekick we haven't mentioned in this video. Dink.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, the only ones of Dink I could find is again in Germany in 1995. So you got your card set. I think there's some in the sticker album as well, but very few and far between. Maybe that is the next Hulk Hogan rookie. a little mini Dink card.
Yeah. You can have the little bubblegum cards. I think he is even on one of those little. In fact, give me. I'm going to do this live just to see where my little bubblegum Dinkin ones are, because I'm sure Doink has got one on those. Here we are.
So Jack's going to go missing. He's going to pull all sorts of things out of the hat.
No. I've got my binder here in front. They're all in front of me. No, I've not got one for Doink. No, he's not on there. No,
I'm sure there is a few out there.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Well, at least we tried.
Right. We tried. So that kind of wraps up the content for this episode. We've done news. Which is PSA opening economy. We've done history with Kev on Doink and the character. And we've gone through quite a few cards, but I think really the whole point of everyone tuning in, which we haven't really said we were going to do on this episode, but it's here. We will promote it. It's done. We're going to announce the competition winner, and I'm going to do it live. We're going to record it here, so it's all in front of you. You can see everything that we're doing. So, quick rundown of what the rules were. We were asking anyone that followed our Twitter or our Facebook page. You got double entries if you followed both. And also, if you tagged any of your friends into the Facebook group, again, you then got double entries for those as well. So I'm going to just share my screen. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of who's there. I'm not going to talk for everyone because there's loads. Thank you all for joining and tagging your friends. It's greatly appreciated. You're helping us grow. This is amazing. Thank you. It's going to be on the randomizer list. I'm going to spin it 10 times. On the 10th spin, the person at the top, you're going to win. Just a quick point, though. In this list, there are some massive collectors, huge collectors.
Andre the Giant. Big show.
I'm giving everyone a fair shot at this.
Yeah.
If you are the winner, and if you are a big collector, and the prize won't necessarily make a difference to your day. If you do feel that it's not really for you, that you don't, maybe you just collect PSA 10s and you don't want anything else in your life, let us know, because then the person who came second will then be elected and we will go from there. So if you want to make someone's day, if you think that the prize isn't going to benefit you much and that you're happy for someone else to claim that prize, and it may be the budding start of their collecting life for wrestling cards, let us know, and we will then just go down the list accordingly. Okay, so just putting that out there because we have got some huge collectors in this list, and if they want to make someone's day, that's completely down to them. So,
and another thing is, Jack, this won't be our final competition because
No.
we'll always have little bits coming up and always little prizes here at Submit Wrestling Cards. So always stay tuned. And I'll pass you now to Jack, who's got his random.org page up with all the names.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll be able to see on the bottom of the screen, bottom right, it is 24 minutes past 2 GMT, and it is the 14th of July 2022. So a quick sort of flick down this list, you can see here, you'll probably see your name, and you'll see people doubling up because these were people that tagged in their friends. They followed us in different locations. And then as we move through, that's Facebook. And then we've got our Twitter followers as well. And I'll just keep skipping through down there so you can see there are quite a few. So I'm going to spin this 10 times. On the 10th and final spin, whoever is number one, we will reach out to you and be in contact. So let's spin for the first time. So that's number one.
Spin the wheel and make the deal.
The wheel, that's number two. Number three. Number four. Number five, number six, 7, 8, 9, and on the next spin, whoever is number one on this list, we will reach out to you. And as I say, it's completely up to you if you want to claim the prize. If you think somebody else will benefit from it greatly, please let us know. And the winner of our very first competition, our very first giveaway, which includes sealed packs. There's PSA card in there, Macho Man card. There's all cards from different sets, Panini, Tops, Merlin stickers, there's all sorts, WCW, WWF, you name it. I think we've estimated it at about 70 or 80 pounds worth of cards. The winner is at 0932 J. Now that's one of our Twitter followers. We will reach out to you and drop you a message. So that is on Twitter. And as I say, you are our winner.
Yeah.
So
have we got a second place, Jack, just in case?
Ooh, second place.
Doesn't want to do that. Plus, I might send them something else through the post as well. Depends if I like them.
If you like them. Second place is at Z1R.
Right. Okay, so congratulations. Well done. Nice little prize coming your way.
Absolutely. We will reach out.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you could give us some feedback on the little pack that you'll be receiving too. And I will say that's pretty much everything covered, isn't it? So episode number 4, we go on to that one. Trump Plaza.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 4 without Donald Trump.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we're going to have a tournament, just a big, massive wrestling tournament and a battle royal.
Yeah, I think we'll put another poll up for you guys to select who you want us to talk about. We'll do that in a couple of days. But otherwise, I think that's it.
Yeah, and before that, though, we're going to do Ask Us Anything. So you could ask us a wrestling question of your type. Could be about cards, could be about figures, could be about our favorite matches. Just to, get some fan interaction out there. So we'll put that one on the socials. Look out for that one. And from me, it's a goodbye from the sensational Kevin Williams over to the exclusive, phenomenal main eventer.
Yeah, I am exclusive. That's what I charge. It's a high rate. I am very expensive. It's a little bit more than a steak pasty now. I'm a little bit above that now. Yeah, but no, that's
sausage roll. It's a sausage roll.
Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you very much for joining us for episode number 3, where we discussed Doink and PSA have reopened. That's the news. That's the episode. We will be coming back again in a week or so's time with another episode. Hope you enjoyed it. It's goodbye from him, and it's goodbye from me.
Yay.
And that about wraps it up for another edition of the Submit Wrestling Cards podcast with myself, Jack, and my good friend, Kev. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube, and keep an eye out for the next upcoming episodes. And now a quick word from our sponsor, Wrestling Cards Worldwide.
Hi, I'm Michael, and I run Wrestling Cards Worldwide, and I'm proud to be associated with the Submit Wrestling Cards podcast. We've got thousands of cards and stickers from all different eras on the website, and if you check out the link on the podcast, they'll give you an exclusive discount code for the website.
Thank you very much, and until next time, bye. Bye.